What's going on, everybody? It's me, Acrylic, going here with yet another new video. Today, we're talking about a more serious topic here, and that is on the topic of mental health. It is World Mental Health Day. I was not aware of it when the day started, but I became aware of it throughout the course of the day, so I want to record a video about it. This isn't going to be edited at all, not going to be cut down, nothing's going to be cut out. Before the video really does start, though, go down below and go check out this charity, the Jed Foundation. Y'all should go donate to them. They're an amazing charity that raises awareness for mental health and suicide prevention, and it's a very important thing. I've worked with this charity before. I've worked with groups that have worked with this charity, such as Streamers for Mental Health, and they're an amazing group. And yeah. Okay, all that out of the way, let's just jump right into this, right? So, I want to talk about my mental health. I want to come here and talk about what's my mental health, my experiences battling things like depression and suicidal thoughts and all that type of stuff, right? So we're gonna do just that. So I'm going to start early on in sophomore year. We're going to talk about sophomore year, and then after sophomore year, I'm going to go to what happened in junior year with one of my friends. So, sophomore year, no one really was aware of this outside of my friends and my family. So, I don't think I've actually ever discussed this publicly. But, for those of you who are not aware, I was very depressed in my sophomore year of high school, right? Extremely. It was the COVID pandemic. Most of my friends were in school. I was online. I couldn't go outside because my family, at least my mom, is immunocompromised. Because she has type 1 diabetes and a heart condition, and she smokes and all that. So I had to stay home for pretty much the entire COVID pandemic until the vaccine got released. And that's not a joke. I literally wasn't able to leave the house really until the vaccine became a thing. But with that, that put me in a really fucking bad spot, right? I think it put a lot of people in a bad spot mentally. But it fucked me up because while all my friends were outside having fun, having parties, doing shit, I was stuck inside and wasn't able to do anything outside of play video games and do fucking nothing basically with my life. I was pretty much just sat here doing fuck all. So with that, it fucked me up big time, and I had gotten into depression. Right? I had gotten depressed, and it was really rough. It was a very rough time in my life. And it all culminated one night. I can't remember the exact day, but it was, I want to say, a February. I think it was January, actually. I lied. I think it was January. And, just, I got fucking wrecked. And one night I was up till, 3 a.m. It was a school night. I was not able to sleep because I had fucking terrible thoughts running through my head. Just straight up. I'm being very open about everything here today. And that day I wanted to not be here anymore. If you guys know what I mean. Obviously I'm here, so nothing happened. But I did not, right? I was very much so done with everything. I just wanted to have everything stop, pretty much. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna reach out to my homies and talk to them. Maybe they can talk some sense into me. And that was the best thing I could have done. Because I don't think you guys understand. I am not a very open person. I don't talk to my family about mental health stuff at that time. Now I do because I've been through shit. But I didn't talk to my family at the time, my friends at the time about that. Anybody. Literally nobody knew what I was going through besides myself. So, with that, this was my first real call, and it was fucking just a red alarm basically just going off. For my friends pretty much. And God bless my friend Jordan and my homie Jacob. And I want to say Michael. Michael. Definitely Michael. for helping me out at this time, because I was fucked mentally pretty much at that time. Like, it was bad. And that was like pretty much the last like shot I had at like, recovering mentally. I think I described it to myself and to a therapist as I like physically didn't want to do anything to myself, but mentally my mind was like, just fucking do something. Like, just, do whatever to get out of this situation. But my body was like, fuck that, absolutely not. So, I had called my friends. Some of them weren't able to answer, but they all texted me. And, we talked. And talked. And then I decided I have to go to bed. I have to. They've gotten me back to a point where I feel, like, mentally okay. Right? So, next day, I go to online school because I was online. And then I get pulled out of online school because one of my friends had, like, told, the therapist that, like, yo, my friend messaged me about this last night, and they were like, yeah, no, he needs to go to a therapist. So the school was like, he gets taken out of class for today online. He has to go to a therapist and like get cleared because we were worried about him doing harm to himself. So that at the time pissed me the fuck off. I'm not going to lie. At the time is the key word. Now I look back at that and I say, I think my friends fucking saved my life by doing that. Because I got to go to therapy and I got to talk to professionals who have seen shit way worse than what I have had going on, and they were able to help me, right? And it only took like 2-3 sessions to realize, like, fuck, I'm fine. Like, my life is good, everything is good. But, like, I was fucked for the longest time mentally. And that really, like, fucking saved me. So, just want to give a big shout out to my friends. And I even messaged some other people about it that night who got back to me and were, like, staying in constant contact with me for, like, a few weeks to make sure I was okay. And then I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. And they just, like, kept checking up on me. So, big shout out, specifically, Sydney, Jacob also texted me that night, but about like checking in on me. Sydney texted me the following day, I think. Jacob and Seamus. Big shout out to all three of those people because they kept checking up on me after repeatedly to make sure I was okay. So shout out. Okay, now with that out of the way, that part of the story, right? That segment of my life. Let's go talk about something that happened this year, right? So that was what, 2 years ago, the previous event? 2 years ago. Let's go talk about what happened this year. So, as you guys are probably well aware, one of my friends had passed away due to suicide. In March 26th to be exact, Max Madison. And it taught me a valuable thing, right? Which is, and multiple valuable lessons, which I'll cover all of them. But the core one was, like, you can only be there for a person as much as you possibly can, and hope that you can help them, and like help them to the best of your ability. And you just have to do that. And I did. And the outcome, sadly, was still fucking terrible, right? Max passed by suicide, but it did teach me, like, you can only ever do so much to help someone. But it also taught me another lesson, which is, don't listen to depressed people. I should have learned that myself, because I was depressed at one point. But he kept telling me, like, oh no, I'm getting better, I'm doing fine, you don't worry about it. Like, he said he was on an upwards trajectory, so I was like, cool. His family, we already made his family aware of this in, like, November, I think. But they said that he was doing better, because he, like, full on tricked everyone. And then the day of what happened arrived. And he started doing a countdown on his Snap, right? Which was, I know this is kind of like mindless rambling because like it's kind of disconnected, but now I'm covering the story of that day. So it was a countdown. I think I saw it at like hour 9, and it was counting down to something, right? So I had known that he wasn't in the best spot mentally, and I was like, okay, his brother needs to know about this because his brother, they live on opposite states. Max had lived in Boston, Massachusetts. Daniel had lived in Tahoe at the time, right? So I messaged Danny. I was like, yo, check in on your brother. He's doing a countdown. He's not the best mentally. You should probably check in on him. Talk to him. See if you can talk some sense into the kid. Because I don't feel like this is in a good way. And he was like, okay, we'll do. And so him and I both at the same time are talking to Max. And we are both like, yo, we love you. You know, you're the best, man. You're awesome. And he's like, thank you. I really appreciate that. You guys are, I love you guys too. You're the best people ever, right? Now, here's the thing. He tricked, and this is why I said Max was amazing at tricking people and to think that he was okay. Because he tricked me and Danny into both thinking he's depressed, but he's gonna be alright as long as we get him help and talk to him daily, right? And like make sure that we check up on him. I was talking to Max daily for a year, and I saw him go up and down. So I never thought it would go this far down, right? So he bamboozled me and Daniel. And then that night, I am bowling. It's also the day of my friend's birthday. This was fucking terrible. This was a terrible situation. It was the day of my friend Jacob's birthday. So I'm going to a bowling cart like alley to hang out with Jacob and then some other friends, Jordan and Michael included, right? So I go to a bowling alley with them. We're just having a good time. We went to McDonald's. We went to the bowling alley. We just hung out. And then I see a message from Danny that goes, hey, can you call Max real quick? His girlfriend's worried about him. And I said, well, first off, my heart fucking sank. And I was like, absolutely, I got you. So I give him a phone call. No answer. It rings all the way through, just ring, ring, ring. No answer. I messaged Danny. I said, you call him because he's not answering my call. I'm fucking scared now. So Danny calls him, doesn't get an answer. And then Danny is like, oh, maybe he's just asleep. Maybe he's just like, doing some shit. And my mentality was immediately, oh, fuck the countdown. This is not good. Right? So with that, I was like, yo, Danny, fucking call the cops. Like, literally just call the cops in his area. We need to get people out there to, like, look for this kid. Because I, full on, was, like, expecting him to not be okay right now. And Danny is, like, Max's little brother by a year. Like, not super little. But he was younger. So I told him, like, dude, fucking call the cops. Get them over there. Because I'm worried about his ass. He turned off Snap Maps, which he never had off. He had that on for like a year fucking straight, minimum. As long as I had Snap, he had Snap Maps on. He turned those off. The countdown, I got removed from that story after talking to him about it. And then I had reached out to like fucking some other friends, and they were still on that story, and they were like, oh shit, keep me posted on what the update is, and all that. Because they were keeping me updated on it, like on the story, and it stopped at like 10 minutes. And then, so then Danny calls the cops. Cops go out to search for Max. So then I'm like, okay, you know what? I can't focus on this situation too much right now. I've called him. I can't do anything. I can't help the police. I can't do anything because like there's literally no way I can. I'm in Nevada, there in Massachusetts. Like it's fucked. I can't help them. So I'm like, I have to go back to the party, do whatever I can. There's a thing in the back of my mind that was like, Max is fucking gone. Like, there's no way, right? But like, I didn't believe it at the time, because like I had known the kid since first grade. There was no way. So then I get a message from one of my other friends who was still on the story and was like, "Yo, new update. Pretty much, Max had said, like." to all these names, I love you. Like, not names, but like first letters. I love you all, and thank you guys so much for everything. Let me see if I can pull it up. I cannot. I don't have it on my phone, I don't think. But, oh, actually, I think I do. It's in messages. But, it was, so, like, I got really, 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 really worried, when that happened. So, sorry, I'm trying to find this message. Okay, so, then, like, I go back to the party again, because I just, like, can't, like, again, I'm in Nevada, he is in Massachusetts, I cannot do anything, like, even as much as I want to, there is no fucking way, I would be able to do anything, right, so, it was, I think 11, like 30, where I get a text from Daniel. Here. Okay, I got the thing. So he said, "Well, my thing I want to say is that whoever is in this private story, I love you." That was the last thing he ever posted on social media. That was it. But like 11:15, 11:30, I get a text from Daniel, and my heart fucking sank. And I see him say, "Yo, he jumped from 5 stories. He's alive. But I don't know what condition he's in." And I'm like, okay, keep me posted. I'm gonna try getting a flight out there, because I wanted to be there if my friend was able to get into a hospital and, like, you know, be alive. So I was going to try getting a flight. So, you know, at this point, I'm getting ready to leave the party, because I just, like, can't fucking deal with this anymore. Like, there's no way I'm able to just, like, sit there and hold this in my chest. And I knew I didn't want to ruin my friend's birthday. So, I'm getting ready to head out, and then I do start leaving. I'm starting to say, "Yo, see you guys later." I'ma head out. I grab my drink. I see a new message on my phone, like 10 minutes later, from Danny. Before I leave, like, this is right before I leave. I see a new message from Daniel, that says, just, "I'm sorry." And I knew exactly what he meant. And it was him telling me that Max had passed. Right? I'm sorry. Like, I'm just, like, trying to go through this story slow enough to make sure I get the details. But it was, so I'm like, alright, I'm leaving. Like, I literally just was like, "Yo, I'll see you guys later. Bye." So I headed out, and, like, I felt ridiculously lightheaded. Like, I felt like I was going to fall several times. And I was messaging Danny, like, "Yo, please, for the love of God, tell me you don't mean what you think you mean." And he's like, "No, he passed." And I was like, "They fucking see." And, like, dude, it was, like, part of me was like, he's in a better place. This, like, you know, and all that. I'm not even religious, but he believed in God, so I was like, you know, if God's real, Max went to where he is, which is a good thing, because Max literally was the most innocent kid ever. So, man, I'm like, I can feel my eyes trying to tear up. So, the next few days, honestly, the next few hours, but the next few days were fucking terrible for me. I had an SAT. No. What'd I have? It was a ACT. I had the ACT the day after everything happened with Mac. And when I tell you, I had no fucking motivation. I had no motivation whatsoever. Because my, like, dude, I don't think you understand. He was my brother. Like, he genuinely was. I know people refer to each other as, like, brothers and all that. No. I knew this kid for a decade of my life, which is, well over half of it right now. I'm only 17. So I had known him for every year but 7 years. So, I was fucking wrecked by it emotionally, and mentally, and it put me in another bad spot. Because mentally, I wanted to be there for Max's family, and Danny and them, and I really was doing everything in my power to be. I baked them, like, fucking cookies, I brought shit over to their house, I brought them flowers, but, like, and then this like thought still lingers in my head, which is like, if I had told people back when, like, Max first told me he wasn't doing the best, maybe this would never have happened. Maybe he wouldn't have moved out to Boston, because I really think him being away from any semblance of family fucked him up. I think if I told his family before he moved out to Boston what was, like, even, like, slightly going on with, like, because he wasn't, like, super depressed before he moved out to Boston. It got really bad when he did, but he just was, like, mildly. So I always have this thought where I'm like, if I did something differently, maybe he'd still be here, right? And that thought, and I'm letting everyone know this who watches this, that thought is a ridiculously dangerous rabbit hole to go down, because you're not able to change the past. So don't. I have the mentality now, and I still get caught in this thought process, but, like, my mentality is you can't let the past linger mentally forever, because it just only fucks you up. Because I was fucking destroyed by this, and my thought process all was, what could I have done differently? What could I have done differently that would keep him here, right? That would have had him stay here. And while that thought seems really enticing and really nice at the start, it really destroys your psyche, because then you start blaming yourself for every little thing that happened, even when, like, things aren't your fault. Like, oh man, and it was fucking terrible. It was so bad, and I don't know. I just, it's so bad. Yeah, no, I had, like, a really terrible fucking mindset about the whole situation, because I blamed myself. I was the only person who ever knew Max was going through anything until, like, November, right? And I blamed myself to some level, because I still think that had I done something else different, he would still be here. But you just can't think like that. You just fucking cannot do it, because it is ridiculously dangerous of a slippery slope. And it put me in a bad spot. And, you know, like, I was like, man, why am I here? Like, it's not even survivor's guilt, but kind of is. Where I'm like, why am I here, but he died? Like, why did the best person I've ever met in my life die, but I'm still here, right? And it right to me, and it was very bad for everyone pretty much involved. And yeah, it was just terrible. And I just wanted to say to anyone who has lost a person, or is thinking about harming themselves, first off, if you've lost a person, I'm very sorry for your loss, right? Especially when it comes to suicide or something related to mental health. I am incredibly sorry for your loss. I have felt that loss personally, and I cannot express how sorry I am for you, because it is almost impossible to level with someone else when they've gone through that type of loss before, right? So, first off, to anyone who's gone through that, I'm very sorry for your loss. Secondly, to anyone who is currently depressed or is having suicidal thoughts or thinking of harming themselves, I plead with you not to do it. I know I'm just a random stranger on the internet, but believe me when I say it will only... First off, you would regret it. And, like, people who have survived those situations have said they regretted it the second they committed an act, right? So whether it was, let's say, jumping, right? Like, off of a tall thing, off of a tall building. And they survived. They said the second they took that step off, they regretted it. Or surviving, like, a noose. People will regret even trying that. So I wanted to say, please don't do it. For that reason. Second reason, you are loved, whether you believe that or not. You are. And you know, there's always gonna be an up, right? It's never gonna be constant losses. Even the people who, let's say, like, even people who are, like, homeless and have, like, what appears to be nothing, they still have those up days where they get, like, so a stranger gives them something, like a meal or a few bucks, right? Everybody has an up day. You might have to go through 100 down days to get to an up. But there will be an up. It's never just a constant downward spiral. Eventually, there's going to be a bump that goes up. And it's all about holding out for as long as you can on this decline, because eventually it will go up. It always does. I think of life as a balancing act. You're going to have the same amount of bad things as good things, most likely, throughout the course of your life. For every, win you have, there's probably going to be a loss of some sort. So just accept that and just hold on for as long as possible. You are loved. People love you. Something out there loves you. Even if you feel like you have no one, you have someone. I promise you. Whether it's your friends, your brother, your sister, your parents, or hell, even, like, people on the internet, right? Like, you could be friends with someone on, like, Discord. There's a very real chance that person, like, cares about you as a friend and as someone, just as someone who they care about. You are loved, or at least cared about by someone. So please hold on for those people, because it might help you and, like, save you from pain. But eventually, first off, you're going to be better eventually. You're going to get better. 100% of the time. You always do. Secondly, it doesn't help the other person. Like, Max had a very weird thought process where he thought he wouldn't be missed. Right? If he passed. He thought after, like, 2 weeks, everyone would move on. 6 months after, I still say goodnight to him. I still text him. I still do everything that I used to do. You will be missed. You are loved. You will be missed. Please, for the love of God, fucking hold on. For those updates, because they are coming. I promise you, those updates are coming. And I guess now I'm just rambling. But yeah. I just want to open up about mental health and my experiences with it. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This isn't my normal style of content. Normally I just make stupid, like, haha funny moment videos. But I decided to go talk about this since it's very important to me. And yeah. I love you all. And yeah, just have a good day, everybody. If you want to go donate to the Jed Foundation, right down below. They're an amazing nonprofit that raises money for mental health and suicide prevention, mental health awareness and suicide prevention, among specifically, well, actually for everyone and especially youth. So donate there if you are financially able to do so. Every dollar counts. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Yeah, I love you guys so much. Peace out, everybody.